Just remember the show started with a prayer. Wow. They're not going to see that one coming.
Well, they will, because I'm going to use this bit before the music.
Well, this is the exact same headset I used last week, so theoretically it would be the same.
We can work with this.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's... Why?
I don't know.
Maybe it's my head. Maybe I'm just not... Maybe you've always sounded like this and suddenly my head has decided it's wrong.
Did that do anything?
That was just weird. Never do that again.
That was wild. Okay.
Yeah, let's never do that.
Sorry,
Anyway.
Maybe it's the internet.
Actually, it sounds good now.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Let's just this is the best we will get. Don't do anything, Holmes. Don't even get an erection.
Don't even breathe.
And that's the last time you'll ever hear me say that. I don't even want you to think about a girl for a split second and then just have that little pulse go through your knob, right? I don't even want that. I don't want the slightest tremor lest we fuck up this audio quality, which still isn't that good, but it's the best we're gonna get, okay?
Is it really better?
It's as good as. It'll do.
I opened Twitter. I guess that did it.
Leave
My cat
Twitter open! But for God's sake, don't tweet anything.
Alright, not till the questions come. That's later.
Oh, then it'll all fall apart. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. Welcome to Podtoid. I'm your host, Jim Sterling. I'm joined as ever by Jonathan Holmes.
Oh, hi.
And Conrad Zimmerman.
Hello.
Haven't had Armser in a bit. He's off doing fuck knows what. Anyway, before we start this week, I would like to open us up with a prayer. Jonathan.
A prayer?
And Conrad, I think it's about time that we got a bit spiritual on the podcast. So, bow your head, Jonathan.
I'm not moving. I don't want to affect my sound. I'll close my eyes.
I tell you what. Keep your head where it is, but move your body inside, winch yourself out your chair in such a way that you're technically bowing, but it's with your nipples, essentially.
So fold my nipples and general torso up into
Get your chin to your chest without moving your head.
Okay, I'll do that.
Right.
Done.
Brilliant. Okay, our Father, Halloween be thy name, on earth for a minute. Thank you for this bountiful harvest. What we have got. Jesus is good. Satan is stupid. Amen.
Anus? What'd you say at the end?
Anus is good. The Anus, your highness, up in the sky, with all your friends, with Mahatma Gandhi, Jeffrey Dahmer, he went Christian before he died, didn't he? Mother Teresa, not so much her, and Stephen Jobs.
Those are all friends of Anus? In heaven?
Yeah, if you like, Jonathan.
Well, I was wondering who the God is that we're praying to through you. You're praying to for us.
The Christian
It's not
God.
It's the Christian God? Really?
The one true Lord. All capital letters for that. O, just the letter O. Lord. All capital. O Lord. Father, who is great. This is a Christian-based podcast, Jonathan. Because as you know, I'm gearing up for the presidential race in 2016.
I did not know that, actually.
I will be, I'm president in a minute, That's what I'm gonna be. Because I tell you what, right, Jonathan, I have had enough of not being president.
Constitution be damned.
Fuck the Constitution. If you see what I eat, I don't give a fuck about any sort of Constitution. I am sick and tired of not running this country. Not running this country. For God's sake, let's sort it out.
Why? What? You don't want to run the country, though. And what would you even do if you did? What would happen then?
I'm glad you asked, Jonathan.
Yeah?
Wow, you really just strolled right in there, like haplessly,
Are you sure?
like a nerdy guy into an Old West saloon. Like, hey, what's going on in here?
Martin Luther King Day will be abolished, Jonathan.
Whoa!
Not because I'm racist, but because there is a new African American hero, Jonathan Holmes. Under the Sterling Milk regime, right? Because that's going to be Vice President Milk.
Who? Harvey Milk? He's dead.
No, just Milk. Right? I will abolish all history textbooks. They're all gone, right? Because they're going to be rewritten so that you are in it.
What?
Like, for everything. We're going to replace Martin Luther King with you. So we're going to have Jonathan Holmes King Day. Not Jonathan King Day, that would be a terrible error. Jonathan Holmes King, right? You stopped all racism because you had a dream that racism wasn't going to happen anymore. And then, like Freddy Krueger, it came to life. And then there was no more racism.
Ooh, I mean...
And of course, Jonathan Holmes King couldn't have done what he did and had that lovely ickle dream. Was he not inspired by Johnny Parks, who, when pregnant, he refused to get off the bus?
Johnny Parks? Who's that?
Johnny Parks, that's you, from Black and White days. From, like,
you mean, like, Rosa Parks?
From, from when Marty went in Back to the Future. You were pregnant and said, get off my fucking bus. And you threw all the white people off the bus. And then you drove the bus to the job centre and said, oi, give me jobs.
Jim, this is not going to get you elected. You can't just be president. You have to run on a platform. You have to get voters.
Run.
Be a natural-born American citizen.
Congress is not going to go for any of this. School board, History Channel.
How will they not go for this? It's you.
Actually, the History Channel probably be all over this shit.
Yeah. They don't know what history is. Anyway, I've not even done yet. There was that famous time when Jonathan Holmes ran in the Olympics and humiliated Germany, who were like, they thought racism was great at that time. They were like, racism? That sounds awesome. Let's do that for a couple of years. So they were racist for a minute and then said, oh, well, a black person isn't going to win the Olympics. And then Jonathan Holmes said, fuck off. And he ran in the Olympics. And after he ran in the Olympics, the president of Germany wanted to kill him. So he hid in a cupboard in Germany and wrote a diary called The Diary of Jonathan Holmes. And that got published. It became a massive worldwide success. It had like 8 movies made of it. And Ralph Fiennes was brought on to play Voldemort in it. That was a massively huge success. Ralph Fiennes, of course, played also Hannibal Lecter in the film The Silence of the Lambs, which was based on the life of Jonathan Holmes, who like Hannibal Lecter.
As well as very much like Jodie Foster and Buffalo Bill.
Exactly, and just like Jodie Foster, Jonathan Holmes, because Jodie Foster, of course, is a character played by Jonathan Holmes, who broke boundaries by coming out as gay and having a girlfriend, and everyone said, that's fantastic, and then there was no more homophobia.
I'm not black,
Is
I don't
Jodie
think.
Foster gay or not, or did I just overhear Movie Bob wrong when he was talking about it once?
It's funny you should mention that. I was watching a documentary on bears. Not the bears, but guys
What?
guys that are bears.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
right.
And it suddenly got interrupted with Best Lesbians Ever. Number 55. Jodie Foster, star of Taxi Driver. No. She's a lesbian. Number 29.
And that's all because of you. That's programs like Bear's show. What was it called?
It was called Bear Nation.
Bear
Yeah.
Nation. I've heard of that, actually.
It was alright.
Is it a regular show? I'm sure I've heard of Bear Nation.
It was a documentary, and it reminded me of
Is
how
it
annoying
Netflix?
I could be. It was on Logo, which is lesbians only, gays only, I believe is what that stands for.
That's a bit...
That's a little exclusionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it stands for. It's live
Well,
only.
no, wait, no, maybe. I'm sorry.
gay.
I think it's just my instant reaction to think that people are trying to exclude me, and that's a knee-jerk thing, and that's wrong. I'm sure they're merely expressing the only kind of content you would find on that channel.
Maybe. I watch it. I watch it a lot.
It's
They
fun.
play,
It's funnier
Blue.
though to crack on that they're being heterophobic.
It is funnier.
There are actual
don't
people
know
that
what to
believe in that.
That's the problem, though, and
heterophobia.
I hate to give any ammunition to that perspective because Lord knows they give far less a shit about us, I think, than we seem to about them.
That is,
Well,
yeah. Yes. So, just for the record, if there was a gay-only house, that would be fantastic. In fact, in keeping with all the fantastic work you've been doing for gender issues and LGBT rights, Jonathan Holmes, we think we should turn your house into a gay-only house. And we will call it Logo House by Jonathan Holmes. And anyone who's straight has to get out. Get out or get hit with a fucking spoon.
Now, would that be romantic gay or sexual gay or... I mean, there's so many different ways of looking at it.
Well, I would like to think we cater to all sorts, Jonathan.
Right.
Unless they're straight. You get the fuck out. You get the fuck out of this house. You fucking straight-o. I'll fucking batter you with this spoon, you disgusting not gay.
So if I cuddle a man, do I have to have sex with him to go to my own house, or can I just be close and hold hands and love him,
You're gonna
but
have
not
to.
sex him?
You're gonna have to pop it in your mouth before you get through the door.
Oh darn!
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Then I'm gay.
I'll be there, right? I'll be at the door. Don't you worry. I'll be playing doorman. You just pop it in your mouth before you get in. Who said that I'm turning your house into a gay house, right? In order to get a cheeky go on your mouth. Who said
I didn't.
I never-
Nobody. But
No one said
do I have
that,
to?
Jonathan.
What if I?
Jonathan,
Is
nobody
it
said that. Nobody said that I will masquerade as a gay rights campaigner for the eventual end game of getting you to suck my knob. I have never said that in my life. And to be honest, God forgive me, I would hope you would not say that either. I would hope you would not level those kinds of accusations at me.
I just want to be able to go into my own house. That's all I'm thinking about. So I'm
No one said that you're being locked out of your house in exchange, in some sort of grisly macabre plot to make you have sex on a man's knob with your sweet puckered lips.
Is it sex if you just put it in and out real quick and you don't like it?
That's
that
all I
much?
want. That's all I want.
Just once.
Yeah.
Just a quick in and out, and then
Yeah.
I'm gay enough to be in my house.
Yeah. And
Doesn't
maybe
sound that bad.
just one, just stroke my balls like a cat and go
Oh.
and go good cat.
I don't know.
Just good.
I don't know.
Just a little stroke. Just. In fact, I would prefer that over the in your mouth. Actually, you don't even have to look at my penis. I can cover that up.
Okay.
I can just poke my testes through. I don't know. Let's get like a Castle Greyskull playset. I'll just poke my balls through the window, and you can just stroke and go Greyskull good.
Just real quick, and then I'm gay enough to go home.
I want to feel it. There's got to be enough pressure there. I don't want you to just. I don't want you to just tickle the fuzz. I want to feel some pressure as you stroke it and go Greyskull good.
Just one stroke, or what are we talking here?
I'll be perfectly honest, Jonathan Holmes. I'm talking an inordinate amount of bollocks this afternoon. More so than usual, more so than I should. I apologise to the listeners.
But they're probably okay. I never know.
Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it.
Wow.
Oh dear. Hello, Conrad.
How are you, Conrad? How's Forza Horizon going?
Why are you asking me?
I'm excited about you in Forza.
Why?
I thought you were playing it.
No. I mean, I played it last week on Monday. I'm gonna be probably talking to some people and writing some things about it. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say.
I love the ever so slight undertone of disgust. Oh.
My mistake. I thought you were getting it reviewed. Sounds like
No, Dale posted the review last week.
Oh,
yeah, he done that review. Gave it a 9. Like, we're dishing those out like they're fucking Jolly Ranchers lately.
Oh, it's the time of year. Good games come out.
Disgusts me.
Yeah. Yeah, what else did we give a 9? Naughty Bear?
Too many. Yeah. Naughty Bear's my game of the fucking year, mate. No, that didn't get a 9. Did Naughty Bear Panic in Paradise? No. I tell you, Conrad's busy.
Oh, am I busy?
Busy work. You've got 2 big, massive reviews coming up.
Yeah.
You do? What are you doing?
Can you even, because I know NDAs were signed, can you even say what one of them are?
I probably could get away with saying one of them, but the other one I'd have to be really silent on.
You can't even say the name? Is it an unannounced video game that you're reviewing?
No, it's nothing like that.
Can I say that they are both thematically similar?
They are thematically similar.
Yeah, I mean, they're thematically identical, considering the profession of the killers, whose profession is killing. I believe we can get that far.
Killers?
Yeah, I believe one of them's going to be an absolutely massive hit, man.
I think you're right.
It's a video game about killers that might be a massive hit.
Man.
Hitman. Some massive killer hit.
Anyway, yeah, but so I'm kind of buried in one of those games, and on our stream, people have been talking a lot about Assassin's Creed because they're pumped up for the game, and I've been thinking about like some of its premises a lot. And like 3 years ago, we hated Assassin's Creed on the site. I think a little bit. Wasn't that?
Oh, let's see. Maurice Tan loves it. Holly Bennett loves it.
I mean, I thought the first one was mechanically a problem.
First one was kind of. It was a good idea, but there was a dullness to it. Like, it was very humdrum in a way.
Right. And but anyway, I wrote an article about the Animus, which because I think the Animus is one of the smartest ideas Assassin's Creed ever did. because the series itself isn't about Altair or Ezio or so forth. It's about Desmond. It's about the guy no one really cares about, unfortunately. But that's who you're playing in the game. You're playing Desmond, playing as these other people through this plot device.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the plot device because it justifies having a GUI, and it explains why everyone speaks English, and all of these things that when you step back and look at it and say none of this crap makes sense, it all makes sense because of this one simple idea that they implemented, and I absolutely love that about it. But there is a problem with it, and it has struck me. Because the whole thing is based on the idea that it's genetic memory passed down from one generation to the next, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you retain, because of the DNA, you retain all of the memories of your ancestors locked away in your brain somehow. But what would be the last memory?
Dying, I guess.
No, because you see, it has to be passed through the DNA.
Oh, fuck! He's gonna see his dad having sex!
Yeah.
Is that where it's leading to? Is that gonna be the last Assassin's Creed? Is you're just gonna be your dad having sex all the time?
Until that moment where it's you.
Yeah.
And then it's that moment, and you can't escape it either. I mean, now that's how we could use the Animus to get confessions out of people.
Make them
in fact, it's beginning to sound like it's pretty wasted on making this guy, play stabby stabs in Italy or wherever, when we should be using it to, stop people lying about killing people. Seems like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, there's a whole new direction for the series, I suppose. Just dad porn.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. It's yucky times. People like that third Assassin's Creed, though.
People are excited. That. I'm actually, as much as I am. Well, Assassin's Creed 2 is still. We've had several games since Assassin's Creed 2, but people still mention Assassin's Creed 2 to me because of the review I gave, which was highly unfavourable. But even so, I'm looking at Assassin's Creed 3 and thinking, I might give that a go. I might give that one a go. I like the look of it. And you don't get too many games in the Civil War, really.
Mm-hmm.
Not that many.
Revolutionary
War.
War.
Sorry.
I guess for you it was a Civil War, because you're British.
Well, it's, sorry, I misspoke. Actually, there are enough fucking games in the Civil War, if you count that, whatever it was, Damnation Legacy or whatever it fucking was. That was absolutely not what it was called. The Revolutionary War, sorry, that's even rarer. Interesting. I've had a few people ask me if I'm comfortable with that. As if I'm going to be offended. Because they're like, well, you kill all British people in it. Does that not seem weird? I'm like, British people are the bad guys in almost everything. British people are classical villains. I have killed and witnessed in movies the deaths of many, 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 many British people. It doesn't bother me at all. And it's, I don't know. I guess I don't feel a big kinship towards any nation or people that I would consider it problematic. I know some people may, I know Hamza was uncomfortable with, was it Medal of Honor? The last modern Medal of Honor?
I think it was.
I think so.
Al-Qaeda was the enemy, and obviously Hamza is from Afghanistan, his family, and he found that just a little too real. But yeah, I don't know how I'd feel if it was, say, something more contemporary. But I don't think I'd have a problem with it. I've killed, SAS members many times and in shooters, and that's been fine. So, yeah, interesting that people would think that was a problem. Like I was, ban this sick filth, promoting racism against the British. I think the British promote enough racism against themselves with half the shit coming out of the country lately.
Yeah, and it's a self-loathing kind of, at least on the surface, there's self-loathing culture there. But what if they made a game that was just about killing you? Just like going to where you live and just killing you.
What, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be surprised that there isn't one already somewhere.
There might be. Yeah.
Jonathan!
Yes.
Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah?
I'll tell you what.
What?
Right, I don't know if you've heard the news.
No.
But I'm sick and tired of it.
What?
Not of not being president. I've had enough of modern society, of modern life, of Rocco's modern life.
What's wrong with modern life?
I'm putting it all behind me, Jonathan. I'm packing it all in. The future is not the past. But the future is the past.
What?
Because I'm going... yes, a bit like Looper, but with more loincloth. Hear me out. Yeah. I announced this week that I'm done. I'm jacking it all in.
Jacking in?
I'm giving up Destructoid, giving up The Escapist.
Come on.
Giving up Gamefront, giving up Konami. Definitely giving up Konami.
Don't give up Konami. They're just getting started.
Yeah. I'm throwing it all. I'm ditching my wife, abandoning the child, selling the house, because I've had enough. And the good news is, Jonathan...
Now he gives them the stand-up routine in LA. Sorry.
That's, the good news... Conrad cut me off before the best bit of this.
That's okay.
Because I've made the decision for you as well.
Weren't you... I thought... So first I need to stroke you through Castle Greyskull to get into my house. And now I'm not even going to have a house.
Greyskull!
That's what I think you said.
Well, after you've... Yes, first of all, you have to stroke me through Castle Greyskull. Do that. Right, good. Stroke it. Maybe give it a lick.
Ugh.
It's your choice. It's your flavour.
Yes, thank you.
Now, Jonathan. As you know, you and I have always shared a dream.
No.
Yeah. We are going to become wandering barbarians looking for the right opponent worthy enough to kill us.
What?
What do you think of that? Don't shoot it down. Don't you dare shoot it down unless it's with an arrow. Actually, no, they are for cowards. We will use the broadsword and the battle axe and the club. So you can't even shoot it down because we eschew the cowardly quivers of fops and bows. Right? You and I, and we've long, Don't worry, Conrad, because I've got the perfect role for you coming up and all. You're gonna love this, right? Anyway, you and I, Jonathan, we've had enough of the lords and the ladies of high society, and that's why we've given up. We are now wandering barbarians, and like all barbarians, we secretly harbour a death wish, and are just waiting for the champion who is stout of heart and noble of bearing enough to finally put us in the ground, which will be for a long time, because we are highly skilled in the arts of melee.
Melee?
Yeah.
Melee. Jim.
Right, I've already got the loincloths. I've got the loincloths. That's all we'll need. I think that's all we'll need.
We don't even have battle axes or swords or anything?
We'll get them.
We'll start off at just loincloths and then acquire battle axes.
I like to think so.
I don't know if they're going to want to arm us.
Once you've got the loincloth, that the rest just falls into place. So we'll wear them like proper like fur, wolf pelt. I can probably get them from somewhere. I know a few hunters. I actually do, because I live in the south now, and you just acquire hunters. That's what happens. They can score me some wolf pelts, so we'll staple those to our midriffs. You just get 2 flaps of dead wolf, one to cover our arse, one to cover our genitals.
Whoa! Why did you get so close to me when you said genitals somehow? Through the microphone. Ooh.
Just to be sensitive for our young listeners.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, I don't want to say, meaty, veiny cunt stickers.
Oh,
Horrible.
no.
I'm sorry.
Yuck.
That was awful
Sorry,
ad-libbing.
It's alright, it's good times.
Yeah, we'll probably need skulls.
Oh, no. If we are seen wearing mostly not clothes and have skulls and say to local shopkeepers, "You got any battle axes?" That's how you talk. "Got any broadswords? Just looking to be barbarians." People will not be okay with it. We will not get far. We'll be, again, with a lot of our ideas, we'll be in jail, or we'll be psychiatrically hospitalized, or...
We will not... We do...
For sure. And
no jail can hold Timotei, son of Oil of Ule. That's my barbarian name.
That's a cool name.
When the police show up and I've got my goat skull on my head, my bits of wolf flap hanging round my balls, I will shout, I will bellow like a Skyrim man and go, "You cannot stop Timotei, son of Oil of Ule! Come ye, noble warriors! Let's see who is stout of heart enough to put me in the ground!" Like that.
And then you'll be tased immediately. Just tased.
I will
right in the
not.
face.
Tasers don't exist. They'll zap me and I'll go, "What witchcraft is this? Put away your loathsome spells, foul necromancer, and taste my steel!" That's what we'll do. And then I will turn to you and I will say, "You, Chungus, son of Chungus."
Why am I always a Chungus? That's not a compliment.
"Give
Chungus.
them the kiss of your edge!" Nyah! And that's when you wield your battle axe and take off the coppers' heads.
Oh, no.
Because they're taking...
These are cops we're talking to?
And
we're armed? We were shot a long time ago then. I thought we would just get away with being billy clubbed and tased.
Well,
maybe.
if we get shot, then...
If we get shot.
Then
they shoot people who protest, the freaking, Wall Street there. They shoot those guys. We are naked men with swords.
In my neck of the woods, actually, some research just came out that said, so the police in Portland do inordinately shoot an inordinately high number of mental patients.
Yeah, people get shot a lot. New York City, just, you're sitting around, got shot. They thought it was somebody else. Happens all the time. And these are people wearing clothes, not talking with funny voices and brandishing swords. We're not going to survive this one, Jim. It's another one of your old gonna kill Jonathan Holmes ideas.
Where have the cops even come from? You're jumping the gun. You've gone too far. Right?
Okay, so these are just citizens still.
We haven't even started being barbarians yet. How the hell are we going to upgrade to destroyers if you're jumping the gun? We're going to be barbarians, then adventurers, then destroyers, and then the cops can shoot us. Because that's the end game, because then we go to the Hall of Heroes and drink fine mead and slap asses of serving wenches and go, that was a good art I slapped. But we're not that far ahead yet. We're still in the hardware store asking for steel, fine northern steel. I'm assuming we're gonna end up with like a hedge trimmer and a trowel, and that'll do. So you can have the hedge trimmer. I'm handy enough with a trowel. Some would say the trowel's the weaker weapon. It depends what you do with it. But you will feel better, I think, with the hedge clippers.
No, I'm not good. No, those are the ones that people think that's a guy who's going to kill someone. Shoot him first. Whereas you just holding like a garden hoe, they'll be like, give him some Thorazine and tell him to relax.
Language! Garden hoe.
That'll-
Gendered insult. Stop it.
Sorry.
So, now we're in the woods.
No! No, it's cold.
Now we're in the woods wearing our wolf pelts, holding our gardening tools, wearing goat skulls. I think you can buy them off Amazon. It's going to be pretty cost effective. I know Alex has got Prime. We can get that without shipping. So don't even worry about the shipping costs.
Okay, great.
While all this is going on, we've got Conrad wearing a feathered hat and, like, embroidered fine nobleman's clothes. Just going up to strangers in the street going, "Here is a purse of monies. Find these 2 loathsome barbarian fugitives and bring them to me. I will have them in the dungeon." No!
Why would... I mean, no...
Have you seen what Conrad looks like? Now imagine him as an aristocrat playing assassins who are just people at the bus stop to come and find barbarians. It works so well.
Okay. Is there a backstory? Is there a reason why Conrad wants just 2 naked men in the woods to be killed?
Yep. We slew his oxen on the grounds of his manor.
Just to defy him, or were we hungry, or
all of it. Because the guard said, you can't eat that ox. That belongs to his lordship. And then we grab our testicles and penises in our hands and thrust them menacingly and say, "Here is what I think of his lordship, lords. I think my balls are here." And then we...
I think they're here.
I think my balls are here. You idiot. You fucking twat.
They're the idiot.
And that's yeah. It's a fine old barbarian insult. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's
500
supposed to be...
gold pieces a head for the barbarians. Then I mean, Christ.
There we go. His lordship was most not amused when we slew his ox and gate crashed his daughter's wedding. And we splashed...
Oh, no, you didn't.
We splashed mead on her dress and said, "You look like a right fucking tart in that."
That's really mean.
Well,
why would
in fairness, the wife and I did not want her to wear a dress that was quite that revealing.
It was incredibly revealing. We said, "Put some fucking clothes on. You're not in the fucking strip club."
Conrad
I forgot to mention.
Approved, but,
I forgot to mention that as barbarians, we are also incredibly sexist and subscribe to 1950s morals.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Ooh, the darkest of all.
Yeah.
All periods for women.
You're embarrassing your father, and he's a job creator as well. Splash. and obviously, Lord Conrad of Zimmerman was most annoyed. And he said, "Get off of the Zimmer Manor." That was a good portmanteau.
Whoa, that is cool.
"Before I set the hounds on you, bring me the dire wolves, for they will feast on suckling cunts tonight." And then we said, "You call us cunts, sir? I am Timothy, son of Oilawule, and this is Chungus, son of Chungus, and I think my balls are here." And then we grab our balls again, because barbarians insult people, but they're vulgar. It's not supposed to be pretty, Jonathan. "Feast your eyes on these balls of ours!" And we run away.
It's not that different than the documentary on bears I was watching on Logo. It's pretty close, except they just had a lot more sex with each other and were nicer.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't got that
Oh.
far ahead in the story
Sure.
yet.
Sure, we haven't. Oh, mercy.
How else do you think we're going to keep ourselves warm on a winter's night?
Can we just cuddle? Can't we be romantic without being sexual?
Oh, so what? You're gonna lead him on now?
No, I just think that you could have romance with a man without it actually being a sexual romance. That's all I'm saying. That's what a lot of those bears were doing. They're just cuddling, and well, that's not true.
Well,
they were pretty. There's a lot of semen involved.
We can cuddle. I just advise you don't fall asleep before I do. Because I don't want to hear you snoring. Is all. Anyway.
What do you do to stop me snoring?
Huh?
What?
I'll have to fuck you up the ass.
That'll keep you. That's true.
Yeah, that'll stop you snoring.
That's cure for snoring, absolutely.
Absolutely. Anyway, we need a base of operations. I'm thinking, I know a bridge. We'll have to clear out the resident homeless, but we will be armed and scary. So they'll probably just clear right out, no problem. We probably just have to walk up to them and say, "You, poverty-stricken peasant, I am a champion of the realm, and this bridge is a cave. Actually, it's a cave now. It's ours, and I'll have that trash can with a fire in it as well. That will be a brazier. So that'll be our brazier, and we're going to cook rats off that."
Wait, we have houses. You have like 4 jobs.
What?
I have like 2. Why would we want to give We're doing pretty well for ourselves as it is, Jim. I don't see why we would want to sacrifice everything we have in order
How
to...
the fuck else are we going to get into the Hall of Heroes, you prick? If we do not die the noble death of the warrior, we will not drink fine mead and slap the asses of serving wenches for all eternity, while Rashakash looks on and smiles. Rashakash, Lord of Battles.
Like Crumb, but Rashakash.
But yeah. Rashakash.
I don't know.
Rashakash, Lord of Battles, he's got 4 arms, right? He's got a sword in 3 of them, and just a big dick in the other. Right? He has got 3 eyes, and one of the eyes is bigger than the rest of his head. And you can sink your hand into it and pull out a roast turkey.
Out of the eyeball?
Out of his eyeball, he just says, "Put your hand in my eye for turkey." And you just stick it like in the black bit. You put your hand in the black bit and pull out a turkey and eat it.
That part sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Is he real tall? Is he?
Yeah, he is as tall as 3 horses.
That's a good unit of measure. And they're tall horses. Yeah.
And instead of, he's got a big cock for one hand, and where his knob should be is a bread slicer.
That's not, doesn't stick out very much.
Yeah, but if you put your hand in it, you'll be in for a surprise.
I can't argue with that. But wouldn't we just, when we die now, just being video game press man?
Yeah.
Don't we go somewhere good too?
Game journalists go to wet underpants heaven. Where you just sit on a pile of wet underpants while people laugh at you for not having a real job.
Are they wet with like sweat or water or just unknown?
You really don't want to answer to that question.
They're just let's just say they're damp. They're damp, and every now and then someone with a camera comes round and he's following Arthur Guys while he tells you what hard life he's got sitting on underpants.
That's the Polygon guy that gave Samit Xbox 360, right?
Samit doesn't deserve an Xbox. That's the biggest mistake Polygon ever made. He won't play a game on it. That's not what Samit does.
I think he's played some games on it.
He gets you to give him games, and then he just says, "I'm too busy."
He does have
That
pretty...
is true,
He's a
yeah.
finicky cat. Yeah. He's picky.
I love Samit Sarkar. He's an arsehole.
Oh, come on.
He's not
Well, yeah.
around.
No.
It's for very old Podtoid listeners. He used to be on this show, stinking up the joint every week, and I used to get to call him names and make fun of him until one day he snapped and said, "Shut up, you fat fuck," which was pretty much the best day of my life, because I've been waiting so long for him to finally do it, and he did. I was very
He's
proud.
been on since then, though. He's done a few guest spots. Very technical, very fact-based appearances on this podcast. Just previewing games and talking about when games are coming out and stuff. He's a real newsman.
Talking about what? Previewing what?
Yeah, video games. I remember he was on last year at some point and did some good talking about video games.
He's never.
Which we haven't done. No,
He's-
sorry, yeah?
He's never once talked about being a barbarian.
I don't...
Going up to street gangs and drug dealers and saying, you know, "Who is man enough to take the challenge?"
Samit would make a lousy barbarian. He is
Yeah.
an anti-barbarian.
If you
What's
look
the
up,
opposite of a barbarian? Yeah?
it's the opposite. Submit, I think.
I think
it
it's
is literally the opposite.
He's not big. He's nice. He's not non-violent. He loves sports games and stats.
He carries
Yeah.
soil in his pockets.
Yeah, just a lot of just moist
His
soil.
pockets are full of soil, and then when he's round someone's house, he did this to your house, you probably didn't see it. He goes into your house when you invite him in, and then when you're not looking, he just slaps the sides of his slacks, and so just a bit comes out. And it just it's just in your house, and he knows it's there. It's almost imperceptible, because not a lot comes out if you just slap him, but enough comes out to where he knows he has put soil in your house that shouldn't be there.
Huh, that's pretty interesting. I'll watch for that.
He's a
Yeah,
he's a fucking bastard. Loves him.
Yes, me too.
He is.
Indeed.
What does he do at Polygon now?
I don't know.
I think he's writing news for them.
He
News
just
and reviews.
just
yeah.
news and reviews. Just news and reviews. Just news and reviews. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. I don't think he'd have gotten that job were it not for me molding him.
Oh yes, I'm sure you played a very large role in Samit's development.
Oh, I want to eat a large roll.
Me too.
Want some bread? Let's go get some bread. Let's fuck this podcast off and all go get bread.
I used to make bread, and then I ate it. It was the best. You ever just made bread and then eaten it?
No, I watched the guy at the French bakery next to my apartment make bread at 2 a.m, and then I go back in at like 8 and buy some.
That
And
doesn't sound bad either.
I'm not gonna make
What's that?
bread. Do I look poor? I don't
No,
make my own bread like a peasant.
That's funny. On this documentary about bears, there was a long talk about that.
What?
They were like,
Peasantry?
yeah, peasantry, and if you look skinny, it implies that you're poor, and they don't like that. They want the guys to be as big and hairy as possible because it makes them look rich and masculine. So it's just a lot of really big, hairy guys rubbing around and stuff.
I think that was at one time the common perception, I think, was that because people didn't have a lot of food, and so if you looked healthy, and by healthy I meant you ate a lot, you were more desirable, you were probably in a better position.
We should bring that back somehow. How can we make that the new cultural norm? Jim?
Well, instead of being like physically fit and muscular?
Yeah, that just looks like
I'm all in favor of anything that brings everyone down to my level.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the best way that we could save Social Security is just making sure everyone dies younger. So,
yeah. Let's all be John Candy.
yeah.
Live fat.
Oh God.
Live fat. Die at 50. That's the rule. I'll be putting that in when I run for president. Sterling Milk 2016. Live fat. Die at 50. The American way. Create jobs. Fiscal responsibility.
That's the other thing.
1%.
More jobs would be created because we would have a faster turnover rate for career positions. We won't have these people clinging desperately to their jobs at 65, 70 because they're not getting their benefits and unable to retire because
Yeah.
they
You
didn't
mean
properly
clinging to
invest
their
for the future.
lives?
Diabetes shots aren't going to give themselves out.
That's
So
right.
there's a whole sector there. This is why I'm proud to be a member of the 1%.
Are you a member of the 1% this whole time?
I'm not, but me and my friend Flannel like to walk around Mississippi telling everyone we are.
You have a friend named Flannel?
Yeah. That's our new thing. Is we found the rich person's Kroger. Kroger is like some shitty little chain of grocery stores out here. We found the rich one, where they have bread. That's where I remembered it. They got actual bread in this Kroger, not just stuff in bags. Actual stuff you put in the paper bag yourself. And they've got a bread slicer. And you slice the bread in the machine. And you don't get that in normal poor person's Kroger. We found this. They've got meat. Guys?
I have one of those like right across the street from me. Or it's the local equivalent of Kroger. It's the same chain.
Yeah, but this is the special one. It's
Mhm.
like huge. All
Yep.
the Mississippi's best to go there, which is still the world's worst. But it's Mississippi's best, and I was in there creating jobs by buying things, artisan food with artisan written on the bag. You're in posh territory there. So anyway, we walk around just shouting 1% at people and telling them that we're creating jobs. So I think that's enough to qualify for being part of the 1%. Just say you are.
Well, I'm
you
sure
feel
you
about
are the 1% of something, Jim.
Oh, definitely. We all are here. How many people are like us? Less than 1%, I think.
I'm probably 1% muscle to the rest of it.
See, there you go.
How do you feel about calling things artisan, Jim? Like an artisan muffin
Well,
at Dunkin' Donuts.
as the host of video gaming's first artisan podcast, I think it's a good idea. I actually can't stand it. I actually had plans weeks ago to talk about this on Podtoid. This practice of whacking artisan at the beginning of every single thing you sell in some vain attempt to make it look more impressive than it is. And I fully expect EA to start bringing out artisan editions of their games.
Artisans have the dignity to not have to promote that fact.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
what is artisan? What is that?
It has no meaning. It just means this costs $1 more. That's what artisan means in today's so-called society.
So it's just supposed to mean like better sandwich.
It just sounds posh and hoity-toity and highfalutin. It's supposed to make you think, oh, that is better.
Handmade is the implication, is what they're trying to come across with. It was made by an individual, not by a machine, and those sorts of things.
Which is bullshit.
I wonder why they don't just say handmade then, because that tells you.
Because that's an actual lie.
Yeah.
Whereas artisan implies handmade quality, whereas saying handmade would just be a lie. That's the difference.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So, anyway, I hope people are enjoying this gourmet podcast.
My mind is really empty and lost today. Sorry if I'm not saying the good stuff. I do have a GameCube idea.
What's that slappy, 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 slappy?
Suddenly a cat just in a bag, just rustling around.
Suddenly a cat.
Yeah, it's a weird life I have. It's a zoo. I'm going to pick up the bag with cat. Sorry for the noise. I'm going to move the cat. Okay.
What?
All right, cat's out.
What is in that bag?
A cat.
No, but what else? Like, that was like a horrible noise.
Whoa, yeah, now there's some serious violence going on. Things just got incredibly violent. It's a little blood. It's all right.
There's actual blood?
Not much.
What the hell?
It's okay.
What is this bagged cat that's
There's a bag in it. There's a cat with a
sowing
bag.
violence? Can it be our barbarian wildcat?
It could be our blood pet. Some new game, I guess.
That'll be its name.
Blood
Pet!
Oh,
Blood
it's getting
Pet!
way more violent.
Annihilate those gang members with their petty switchblades!
Then the cat will just get stabbed. It'll be sad. That'll be a sad movie. Whoa. All right. If things are cool, should I do that GameCube commercial idea?
Yeah, go
I
on.
think I could do it. Do you guys know the song Steppin' Out by Joe Jackson?
No, I know the song Steppin' Out by the Electric Light Orchestra.
How's that go?
I'm stepping out, you idiot.
That doesn't sound bad. Do you know what, Conrad? Steppin' Out, Joe Jackson?
I might if you hum a few bars.
It's like, we've been stepping out. You can't really understand what he's saying. I used to think it was Mindy, don't know why, when I was a kid. It's one of those songs, you know. Anyway, so that song's playing in the background. Look it up later so this all makes sense. It's got a real driving bass line, good drums, and booty.
Yeah, I know the song now.
Oh, you know it now? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I just have to go and find the video and have it play, but I know what song you're talking about now. Yeah.
Perfect. So do that in your mind right now. Picture a cute 12-year-old boy putting on like sweatbands and shorts and stuff. He's tying his shoelaces. He's talking on a smartphone, and he's talking to a girl on the other end. He's like, "Listen, I just can't talk right now. I got to get in shape. Fitness is really important." And so you're really endeared to him at this point. And then he hits the streets, and the music's still playing. He's jogging by his friends and waving and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, a GameCube just flies out of nowhere and hits him in the head. No, he doesn't stop. He keeps going, and then more GameCubes just rain down and pelt him. And
is he reacting in any way to them hitting him, or is he just driving on through it like as if he's not even noticing?
The first one hits him hard in the face.
Right.
But it bounces off pretty quickly, and he just keeps jogging. And then after that, it's not like a few more hit him. It's just like they all just slam him from
right. But is he acknowledging the fact that these GameCubes are hitting him, or is it just part of his routine? It's part of his regimen. He goes out for a run in those dorky looking shorts, and someone pelts him with GameCubes.
They're not dorky looking, but he does get hit.
Okay.
It's so hot!
You said shorts and male. I'm sorry.
I think he looks nice. And he gets hit with the GameCube. He's hurt physically. But it all happens pretty fast. And he's stunned.
So he's barely got even time to react.
Yeah. The audience has a little bit of time to be like, was that a GameCube or was that just a big purple box? And then he just gets pelted with them.
Like, to death?
Yeah, probably.
And you don't tastefully cut away before you see his mangled corpse, I would assume.
No. It's close up on bloody, just a lot of blood and bruises, and just GameCubes keep coming. He's long. He's been knocked out.
That's bold. I like that.
Is that right? And the question mark of the whole piece is that, was it God or was it his neighbors? No one knows.
I think
where the came from. Mm-hmm.
I think the commercial needs to end with it fading to black, and then in Times New Roman text that actually comes up. Just, was it God or was it his neighbors? And then just the GameCube logo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a new idea. It's the first new GameCube commercial I've had.
It's the first new GameCube commercial in 7 years. Let's run it on TV. Why not?
Yeah, weirder things have happened. Super packs.
Start doing that.
Why can't the GameCube have a super pack?
We should set up a YouTube channel and just produce GameCube commercials and put them out there.
I would love for the rest of the Podtoid cast to start coming up with GameCube commercials, because I've clearly run out of new ideas. I'm sure you guys could come up with some humdingers. Let them fly.
Yeah.
Next week. Yeah, next week, Jim.
Don't do that.
Oh, come on.
Don't do that.
Why?
Because I will regret it. It
If you come up
sounds
with
like a good.
GameCube commercial like
It
this?
sounds like a good idea now, but then we'll get submissions, and then
Oh.
it goes wrong.
People have already asked, can I submit my GameCube commercial ideas?
They have not.
They have.
Don't say
Someone
that.
asked me. They did, and I
Don't-
didn't know what to say, because it's not really my place.
It's all
to
gone
make that
wrong.
kind of-
That's it. It's over. This podcast's over. Forever.
No, don't quit. No, come on. It'll
It's
be okay.
over.
Oh,
We can't.
man.
We can't open that door. It will not close. We can't take submissions for weird GameCube commercials from our listeners. That will go wrong. It will get racist very quickly, and then we will have to stop.
Yeah, I don't want to have to. It's not that I don't think that our audience is creative. I just think that the creative portion of our audience is smaller than the quantity of people who will respond to this.
That was very tastefully put.
That was very tactful. Yeah.
I love our listeners, and the ones that do get creative are fantastic. Like Thomas Tron, Cutie Honey, who, since we did this podcast last, published The New Adventures of Podtoid.
Yes.
Oh, is that when that happened?
Fantastic.
Animate.
Yeah, and that was the day after we recorded last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
It actually went up
okay.
on the same day. Yeah, for those that don't know, if you do a search on YouTube, or go on Destructoid and look for The New Adventures of Podtoid, our first animated selection of clips is up, thanks to Thomas Strong. Good stuff. There is a clip from that time when we talked about spiders, throwing spiders at Jonathan. There is a clip when we talked about that bit when Mega Man and abortions happened, and there was that other bit when we talked about something else.
Sakurai making
That's
Super
it.
Smash Brothers Brawl. Yeah,
Which I didn't even remember.
I didn't remember any of that
I
stuff.
black out for half of these shows.
And it's very embarrassing for me to watch
Yeah.
the cartoon version of the show. It makes it seem like it really happened, which is uncomfortable for me. I like to forget this show immediately after recording it. Yeah, but he did a wonderful job, and people are freaking out. The people who... There doesn't seem to be someone who just likes it. It's either like, I love what Thomas Truong has done, it's the best thing ever, or people that just haven't seen it or can't stand it. It's
Holmes will back me up because I know he shares this perspective. I don't like to watch or listen to things that I'm explicitly in, but I really did like the Podtoid Adventures because I had absolutely nothing to do with it other than I said some things once, and I can pretend that representation of me isn't me because it's way funnier than I am.
It is funnier than Podtoid.
Yes.
By a lot. Yeah, the whole show is just... He adds a lot to it.
He does add a lot
He did a
to
great
it.
job.
And the music, is so... His music choices are perfect as well. The whole rhythm heaven bit he did was inspired stuff. So yeah, check that out. It's a good thing that you can listen to and watch as well now, because it's the future that we live
About
in.
10 minutes. Indeed.
Okay.
Video games? Talk about them?
Yeah, we can squeeze them in.
What happened?
What
Video games happened.
What
Any
happened
of them?
again? I'm playing my PS Vita a lot.
Oh, yeah?
I'm double
Retro City
fisting.
Rampage? Yeah.
I've not had time to play much Retro City. I catch little snatches of it now and then. I am double fisting Silent Hill Book of Memories and Ragnarok Odyssey at the moment.
Whoa, what's that second one?
Ragnarok Odyssey, it's a spin-off from Ragnarok Online, one of those little MMO type deals. Except this isn't an MMO, this is a PS Vita action role-playing game from Japan. I've only played the first little mission, which was a glorified tutorial, really. But so far, I'm liking it. Beautiful looking game. The character customization was really impressive. A ton of hair choices, ton of face choices, about 20 or more voiceover choices. You can choose between one of 20 odd voices that your character can have. Hair color, from a swatch. No, not a swatch. One of those things where you can choose basically any color you want. Really in-depth character creator. There's a lot of presets for it, but you can really get any guy you want. And then you go out just killing stuff.
Sounds all right.
I'm liking it. I can see myself being really engrossed by it. So yeah, that's cool. I'm probably breaking some sort of embargo by saying any of that.
Really? Come on.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Because I got it earlier than I thought I would. Because normally review copies don't go live until the PSN store has it for sale. Because Sony, why not? So I was surprised. Sometimes they seem to be able to make codes that do work independent of the PlayStation Store, and that's what I got here. So the game's not out for a while, but yeah, good. Having fun with it so far. Looks promising.
That sounds good. Conrad,
Yeah.
you're playing some games. Can you talk about
Yeah,
them?
I'm playing some. Well, I'm playing a bunch of review stuff, and the thing is that like I was gone last week traveling, and then I got home, and it's just I was under mountain of backlog work and catching up and organizational stuff and news stuff. And yesterday, every freaking game on Earth seemed to come out like simultaneously. I don't know why it seemed like it didn't seem like it was going to be a big day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, look, all these games came out today. But so I've like barely even had time to do review stuff, but I'm still enforcing 2 hours a night of Borderlands 2 with the wife, and I think we're almost done with the main campaign now, which is really good because we're both fighting over who's going to play the Necromancer on our second playthrough.
Cool. Did you get the DLC?
Yeah, well, we were Premier Club, so yeah, we
Ah.
pre-ordered, and then the Necromancer came with that as a pre-order bonus. So
Gotcha. Okay. I just saw today that Big Daddy and Little Sis are in the Pirate DLC.
in the
I thought that's
Pirate
cool.
DLC, yeah, I will probably get the season pass now that she has a job.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That helps. Yeah.
yeah.
Video games.
Yeah, and I've got this
Hmm.
indie game called A Virus Named Tom that they sent me a copy, and it looks cool, but I haven't even had a chance to touch it yet. So I wanted to name drop it so that people could go and look at it and expect something on that at some point.
Who sent you that?
Man.
Man.
People who made it, I don't remember the name off the top
Oh,
of my
that's
head.
okay. I'll look into it. Sounds interesting. Yeah, good times. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No Resident Evil 6 for you then, Conrad? People are still playing it.
Good for
They're
them.
playing it.
Hey,
Yeah.
whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. We only gave it a bad review to get in the limelight.
Oh yeah, absolutely, sure.
Still thinking about that. There's a review of Worms Armageddon. Is that what it's called? Or
Yeah,
Uh,
that thread escalated
Work
quickly.
Revolution.
That's it, man. Good times. I really am enjoying the new Destructoid comment system. It's drawing out people who want to get more attention because now they have a feeling that they could really make a big impact, and a lot of people are going to read their comments, which is leading some people to just do non sequitur comments about things they think are important. Just some new game they like. They'll just randomly comment about it in the latest news story on the site, because not only do you read the comment in the news story, but there's a little sidebar for most popular comments and latest comments that's separate from the story itself. So that's really changed the way people comment on the site. And
It's a
some
thriving comment economy.
Yes, it is, with a lot of different value sets. And some mans and womans are just using it to be the worst. But it's hilarious.
Well, some of them
And,
as well are using it to be awesome.
Yes.
There's been a real mix of interesting discussions going on, and I'm enjoying it because I feel like commenting more, because now I get like a direct line to certain individuals. Like when people say something, I can directly respond to them now thanks to Discus, and it's good. It's feels like you can get a bit more personal with the community, which is something we used to do a lot of, and then not so much, and now it feels a bit more like, jumping back in the trenches and stuff, which is good, I think.
Yeah, me too. It's the comments are themselves just turned up a notch in intensity. The good ones are much better. The bad ones are much worse. but overall, it's much more personal, and that's what I like about Destructoid. So, yes, very happy about it.
Yeah.
Good time. Yeah.
Well, what have you been playing, Jonathan?
Let's see. Code of Princess, playing that some more on the 3DS. Great game, great battle system. Sad about the graphics. They're not bad, but they've got a certain, like... There was an era in gaming transitioning between 2D art and polygon-based art, and trying to kind of do the best of both worlds, but it often came out wrong, and it has that feeling sometimes. I wish they had just gone with straight 2D sprite art. It would have looked a lot better. Kind of like how Guardian Heroes did, except just a little bit more advanced for the times. That would have been nice. But, not an ugly game by any means. Just some regrettable looking stuff every once in a while. And I'm still playing the Denpa Men. That game's taken way longer than I thought it would. It gets so hard. It gets like Dark Souls hard after a while. On the second to last level, just getting brutally torn apart by these cute little ice chickens, big werewolves with like big heads and little bodies and stuff. I always like it when they contrast brutal difficulty with like cuteness and funny music and stuff like that. So I'm still having fun with that. Hopefully I'll get that done tonight. And Retro City Rampage, that's another one that contrasts cuteness and comedy with just a lot of brutal violence. We just murder people in various ways nonstop.
I'm finding it hard to play Retro City Rampage the right way, because in a lot of situations you're encouraged to kill civilians, run them over to get chain multiplayers and do the little rampage scenarios where you kill them in different ways. But I find it difficult because every now and then you'll see a little green guy with frizzy hair playing on a little tiny guitar. And it's so adorable. And there's other little guys just doing little cool, cute things. And I don't want to
avoid them.
Yeah, they're doing breakdancing, and they do a lot of good stuff. He came up with a lot of little incidental...
Is there a guy that's walking around dressed as broccoli, I think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's like a take on Toad, but it's a broccoli instead of a mushroom. And you can whip out your own guitar. I don't know if you've gotten the guitar yet, Jim.
I don't think... like I said, I've not had much time to get too far into it at all.
Yeah, you can just whip out the guitar and play guitar with the other guy. Sometimes I just do that. Just stare at it. Think, oh... Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a cute little world. I feel so wrong destroying it.
Well, it is a cute little world, and we actually talked about this with Brian Provinciano, creator of the game, on last week's Subholmes. He didn't want to make it too cute. At one point, they were toying with a version of the game that had kind of the big head, big cute heads, little body look that's in a lot of Japanese games and in Mario and stuff like that. But apparently... Yeah, super deformed, thank you. But it just didn't feel right to just murder a bunch of intentionally cute-looking people. Like, if it had Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6, whichever you call it, if it had that kind of graphics, you would just feel like a terrible person the whole time. But since they're so small and they don't have faces, you don't feel too bad murdering all of them. At least I don't. Yeah, good times. So playing that, and... I know I was playing some other stuff. I'm blanking on it. It's not that interesting anyway. Looking forward to the Wii U, though. Thinking about that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zombie U. Looking forward to that.
I'm been chatting with Nintendo about that.
Oh, yeah?
Looking to...
Getting one? Getting it early?
Maybe. I've been... Nothing confirmed. They can't confirm everything yet, because you know how publishers are with their... not wanting to ever confirm anything ever.
Sure.
So, on the record, they can't say anything. But chatting to them about the Wii U in particular, might be getting some cool stories and information on Destructoid about it.
Cool.
I'm excited to cover it. I think this is the first major launch I've ever, been able to experience as a, I don't want to say
insider,
game writer type fat
You're pretty far
log
on the
man.
Inside. You're much farther on the inside now than you were 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, this is essentially, whether people want to say so or not, we are essentially having the start of the next generation in November. And, I came to Destructoid and started professionally writing about games once this generation had, it'd been pretty well in by that point. Not too far in, but in enough. So it's interesting to be there for the kickoff of, because we've had the PS Vita, we've had the 3DS, and, but there's something extra special about the first new home console. So I'm excited. I'm excited to cover it, and I'm excited about the Wii U. I've gone from being very on the fence to being skeptical to being, let's see what it can do. I'm excited to see what it can do.
I think excitement for it is picking up all around. I think for whatever reason, when people were first hearing about it, they just assumed it would be a lot like the Wii, and they were disappointed by the Wii, or for whatever reason, that just sent them in the wrong direction in terms of their speculation. But more and more people have been saying that they're taking a second look at it. I think the Bayonetta 2 announcement did a lot for that, and third-party support in general. Rayman Legends? I was mixing it up. Yeah, a lot of stuff in that direction.
Yeah, Rayman Legends I'm really excited for.
Yeah, a lot of people are. For a lot of people. There are a bunch of just little, for rich people, they're system sellers. Like, if you only need one really unique game on your console, and you're willing to shell out for it, the Wii U's coming with a lot of that. Wonderful 101 from Platinum Games, that kind of stuff. I actually asked on Twitter if people were going to re-elect Barack Obama if they voted for him in 2008, and if they were going to buy a Wii U if they bought one in 2006, to see who's the better incumbent. And yeah, and some people got people were pretty upset actually about that. They said that's the stupidest analogy ever. As though I was...
No, that's not the stupidest analogy ever. That can't possibly be the stupid... No, there's got to be a dumber analogy.
But you're not
sure.
Than that. You're just speculating, though. I mean,
I am speculating, but yeah, there has to be some worse connection we could draw to the success of the Wii.
Well, there was I do see some...
I'm seeing in my future... an article on Destructoid.
Oh, God.
Written by who?
How the Wii U is blatantly better than Barack Obama.
Oh, God.
Well, specifically the Wii U gamepad, I was saying, is better than Obamacare. Because there are more people...
I retweeted that one. That was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to say. Because according to the people I asked, and I'm lucky enough to have a fairly large amount of Twitter followers, more people who voted for Barack Obama were saying, I can't remember actually, so forget everything I just said. One of them was more popular than the other one. Yeah, those are the facts I'm tabulating, guys. Stay tuned for more.
Oh,
yeah. But there were, the Wii came out and people were really excited for something new, something different. It had a completely different set of values in terms of what kind of games it was trying to bring to people and what kind of experiences it was trying to bring to people. And Barack Obama said he was going to do the same things. People got really excited about it, and then some people got really excited and are still excited. And other people were like, that kind of sucked, and I want something different now.
And unlike Obamacare, the Wii has health benefits because those old women were playing it back in 2007. And okay, they're probably all dead now. But back then, limbering up their filthy arthritic joints. There was all sorts of talk about the health benefits of the Wii. Not much talk about the health benefits of so-called Obamacare.
Wow, that was biting. You bit.
The Wii healthcare plan has proven results.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And not to mention the amount they had to step up production to sell the Wii U's. Job creation. How long did it take so-called Obama to drop the so-called unemployment rates down to so-called 8%? Huh? Huh? Louise done
7.8%.
far more.
For job. Yeah, they're job creators.
I'm writing this article.
I really think you should. It was my idea after all, so I'm excited for someone else to
It
do it,
will
so I don't have to
come
worry
across.
about it.
Actually, if you wanted to, I'd come in.
No, I don't want to do it.
Cut your.
No. I'd be every idea I've ever had. I've volunteered to everyone else on staff because if it were up to me, I would just sit around and think of ideas and then hand them to other people who are actually good at carrying them out. I would have never done talking to women about video games. I would have given that to Max Scoville. I wanted to give Sundays with Sagat to you, Jim. I thought that would have been great, but you don't want to do that. Yeah, take my ideas, please. I want to see them used because I'll just never get around to doing
The
anything.
Wii U versus Obamacare.
Yeah,
That's a challenge. Anyway, what else is going on? There's other stuff
Nothing.
going on. I've been playing Doom.
Doom 3 BFG edition?
Yeah, I keep wanting to call it the Doom Collection though, because that's ostensibly what it is. It's got Doom and Doom 2 and Doom 3 on it, and let's face it, we're all there for Doom 2. Only an idiot wouldn't be. That's fantastic. I'm actually a big fan of Doom 3. I think it gets a lot of criticism for not being Doom. And having monster closets. That's always the thing everyone says, but they're good monster closets. They're closets full of monsters.
Yeah, it was a legitimately scary game that made you feel like you were in trouble.
I'm going to talk about this, I don't know where, but at some point I want to talk about Doom 3, because it's a game that really demonstrates that you can have a scary horror experience in a game where you're still fully combat capable. Because, it's a first-person shooter. You've got a lot of firepower, but the monsters still can get the upper hand on you. And even if you're going to survive, there can still be some really harrowing moments. And for my money, it's one of the most atmospheric horror experiences I've had outside of traditional survival horror. It was more accomplished than I think many people give it credit for. And Doom 3 was fucking scary. And
Yeah.
And few games scare me. Few things in media scare me. And I'm not saying that to show off. I like being scared, and I'm often a bit disappointed. Mostly because just the way my mind works.
Well, and you consume so much of this media after a point. There's only so many directions they can push it in, and you've probably seen almost all of them. So to see one that you haven't seen before.
And if I've not seen it, I've imagined something, like it happening to Jonathan Holmes. So there's very little that can disturb me.
That's why I think Lone Survivor worked so well, because I've really never seen a survival horror game like that. And honestly, as great of a game as it is, if there were already like 10 games just like it, it would have had a harder time impressing me, for sure. But yeah, Doom 3. It uses gameplay to make you feel like you're in a bad spot a lot of the time. It makes you have to make difficult choices. And regardless of the atmosphere and the sounds, which are also really good, that's how you can make a game that's scary, is asking the player to make scary decisions. And they pull that off.
They really breed paranoia well, because the monsters can teleport in, and the game is not shy about having them appear directly behind you.
Right, they use the first-person view. Like in third person, it wouldn't be half as scary, because you'd get a better look at what's around you. But you really wish you could see everything and feel afraid going anywhere, because you know that right behind you could be something real bad.
Yeah, they do that. You get paranoid, because even once if nothing has spawned behind you, you still check. I've learned to do that every time I play Doom 3, is once I finish fighting the enemies in front of me, I turn and run at the same time backwards, just in case something appeared. It's good stuff, and they really got into the psychology of making people afraid more than I think people will ever, admit.
Yeah, well, people wanted more Doom 2. That's fair, but they already had Quake. that'll never totally fit to me. Doom 2 sparked off a whole genre that would have been enough to satiate anybody. So to me, it made sense that Doom 3 went a different direction, because otherwise it would have just been seen as another Quake or Hexen or Heretic.
Doom
or all
and
those
Quake
things.
are very different games, and actually Doom is pretty specific about what it is. I mean, it's definitely a space horror thing, and as well as they could portray it in Doom 1 and 2, there was tension there. The enemies they needed to go down easy, and I mean, back in 1990X, it was impressive as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I was terrified playing.
Atmospheric and scary in its own right with those. I mean, nowadays we look at them and they're a bit cheesy, I guess, but back in the day, they could shit you up a bit.
Yeah, and
sure.
Quake was a really different sort of thing. The first Quake was really kind of all over the place, and that was because it was developed in a sort of cell-based structure. Like you're working on the medieval area, you're working on this, and like what? But Quake 2, they tried to get story, and they developed, their own kind of space drama. Fine. But Doom is about hell, like breaking through and fucking up everything. Mm-hmm. There's no other first-person shooter like it.
Yeah, and in many ways, Doom 3 did carry that tradition on a bit more than one might think.
Oh, yeah.
Playing Doom 3, there's still a lot of picking up a thing and then a door, a secret wall opens and then zombies and demons come pouring out of it, and they really nailed the idea of hell trying to break through, as Conrad says. There was a lot of like reality distorting and all this kind of stuff, and yeah, like huge amounts of respect for Doom 3. It's like so many other games, its biggest problem was following the game it followed.
Mm-hmm.
It followed a classic after quite a while. People had built up this idea in their head of what it was, and maybe Doom 4 is going to suffer that because we've waited so long for it. But then again, with everyone seemingly down on Doom 3, maybe they'll get away with it. But I'm looking forward to it. I love Doom. Doom is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Doom 2 is one of my perfect games. It's just perfect at what it does. Mm-hmm. And Doom 3, as I say, is a fantastic example of horror done right in a genre not known for being scary. And I hope Doom 4, whatever it is something fantastic. Especially after Rage, which was good, but, a bit of a letdown considering what the promise it was supposed to have brought us.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed, but not given up yet on the company, I don't think.
But yeah, good stuff. The BFG edition is solid. It's got some nice extra content, which I've not gotten yet. I want to play through the main campaign of Doom 3. And it's nice to have Doom 2 just on my widescreen TV going through my big speakers with the kick-ass music that it's got. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I want to hear more about what your perfect games are, and you too, Conrad. Sometime, maybe not now, because we're pretty deep into this deep podcast. Deep in.
Yeah. Deep in my Castle Greyskull balls.
Should I ask the questions on Twitter?
I'm actually, I know I say this every week, but I really should get going this time, because I got to mail Professor Layton off to Dale and...
You're going to be so mad.
Stuff.
Can I do one question?
They can suck my fat cock, is what they can do.
Can they?
No.
I asked. I may not. I asked. It's fun.
Let's do one.
This is fun.
Sorry, and I don't mean to be rude to our listeners. Thank you so much for asking questions and whatnot. But it is getting dark over here.
Whoa, I asked someone if what Romney was like, if he was like Connect, and someone said, yes, he is like Connect because he hates all the gays and is a Mormon. Hates all the gays. Pretty funny. Come on. Pretty funny people on our Twitter feeds, guys. You gotta appreciate them. All right, just one question. This is the first one. from Ashley Bernard, with Strings and Wires on Twitter. Do you ever find games more fun to think about than to play? Do you guys ever have that happen? You just like thinking about a game and you don't even want to play it that much?
That's most games for me. It's almost all of them now. I'd rather spend time thinking about them than playing them.
Richard Cobbett, who I'm a big fan of, he does Saturday Crapshoot at PC Gamer, where he plays old like 90s, mostly 90s games that were quite obscure or shitty, and then does write-ups on them. I forgot the name of the game, but he mentioned how back in the day of gaming magazines, you'd see screenshots and read previews for all these awesome games that you were too poor to ever afford, and you just spend the whole time imagining what it would be like. And for those games you did buy, the reality was always far worse than what you imagined. So literally back in the day, that was the fun. And I used to be like that too. I'd read games I still remember now that I've never played and can't even find a record of existing. One I think it was called Metamorphosis.
A PC? Must have been PC.
It was, yeah, I read it in some old PC gaming magazine. I have no idea whether that game was good. It was probably shite. I can't really find a record of it. It was like, the character changed between 3 states, like liquid, solid, and gas, and that was the conceit of it. Had a lot of fun imagining what that game would be like, though.
I used to do that a lot as a kid too. I mean, I had a Commodore 64 and I played a lot of games and I loved all those, but I always really wanted an NES also, and I didn't get one of those until I was 16. So I had a lot of time to imagine how awesome having an NES was. And it's still pretty awesome.
Yeah, but 16, the Super Nintendo was already out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, well, the Super Nintendo had been out for. I mean, the Super Nintendo came out when I was, I think, 12.
Oh wow.
11, 12. Yeah, so yeah, I got Super Nintendo when I was 21. Because I bought these secondhand from friends, or when I had the opportunity to pick one up cheap or for next to nothing, and it wasn't that I wasn't interested in the consoles. I'm broke.
yeah, fair enough. When I was on Road Rules MTV show, I read the same issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly like 500 times. Because we were just in that van and bored and didn't want to talk to each other that much. And I read about Resident Evil 2, the version that's now known as Resident Evil 1.5, just backwards and forwards. I was obsessed with that game, just imagining it. Yeah, I would have much rather have just been playing video games that whole time.
I still remember when that came out. I remember the gaming magazines.
And I've read... Yeah.
I remember the zombie. That was the image they kept using was a zombie woman.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's gross, like with short hair and a red tank top.
Short hair, red tank top. I think like blue short shorts or a skirt or something. Mm-hmm. Just had like hunched with her head tilted. That image was Resident Evil 2.
Good. Yeah, so good. And there was the fat zombies, and there were these like invisible cockroach guys that they actually used a version of them in Resident Evil 4. And Claire wasn't in it. There was a girl named Eliza Walker who I used to draw pictures of all the time. Thought she was so cool. She was wearing like a bike outfit. She was like not showing any cleavage because she's like, who cares? Just shoot zombies, Bike outfit. She's pretty awesome. Yeah. This Resident Evil is probably the series I've thought about the most. I've thought about it more than I've played it. Also, I should do a shout out. Shout out to a strategy guide company that's been out of business for probably 15 years. Versus Books.
Oh, well, they'll appreciate the business now. If they're out of business, they're going to really need it.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing at
We can revive it. Let's be job creators, guys.
We could.
Podtoid
sure, why not?
Bump right there.
Kickstarter. Yeah, let's do it. They did strategy guides for Resident Evil 2 and 3, which they're probably better than the games. Just reading about them. They're really funny writers. Really good times. Let's look at screenshots. All right, long answer. Sorry about that. I'm done. Yeah. I did it. We did it, guys.
That's good. Yeah, it's a bit of a short Podtoid because we got late recording and then had to cut some stuff that wasn't working out. So apologies for it not being 15 hours long. You'll
It
just
sure
have
felt
to...
like it.
Yep. Oh, fuck me. What do we normally do here? We talk about stuff. Jonathan,
Yeah, what we're doing.
what in the blue buggering Christ are you doing?
Well, I don't know. I wish I knew. I can tell you that the Brian Provinciano episode of Sup Holmes, actually the second episode with him, should be on iTunes and hopefully on Dtoid. It's on the Dtoid TV YouTube already, right, Conrad?
Yeah, it's up there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the clipped version of it will be on the regular Dtoid YouTube channel soon. Hopefully I'll get a post for that up very soon, hopefully tonight. As for this week's Sup Holmes, which for those who don't know is our weekly live stream talk show that doubles as a podcast, then we take the audio and put it in podcast form after the fact. I don't know who the guest is going to be. Our guest just canceled today, so I'm going to be scrambling. Sent some emails out. We'll see what happens. Had some people I wanted to get on anyway, so hopefully we'll get them on. Should I say who the guest was going to be, Conrad, or is that scandalous?
Our guest canceled.
It's a little bit
Maybe
sad.
we'll be able to get them on again another time.
Right, so I won't badmouth them now.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to be
Yeah,
on
we can
later.
badmouth them later when they're like, fuck you, man, and then, yeah.
Yeah, but it was going to be a really good guest. Ugh,
Yeah.
Pretty bummed
Kinda
about
bummed.
it. Yeah, so someone will be on this Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Destructoid's Twitch TV channel. It's good. And the post is on Destructoid.com too. Yeah, check it out.
What are you tapping your hand on?
Nothing. Should I?
Every time you talk, there's like this light thud.
Oh no, this is the broken headset, which is why I'm going to adjust a thing. I'm touching a knob.
What? Okay, so why aren't you using the new headset that you just bought?
I tried that, but Jim hated it.
Yeah, we tried it while you were doing your laundry stuff. It was awful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sucks.
because it was attached to Holmes's head, and then it broke.
I put blankets on my head and everything to try to make it sound better. I was covered in blankets alone in my room.
It seemed
Talking to
okay
Jim Sterling.
for Sup Holmes. That's weird.
Yeah, I know. That's something about this Skype thing, guys.
It's the curse.
There
There is
new curse.
Tutankhamun's curse.
That's
Tutankhamun, listeners. That's what he's called, not King Tut, you lazy fucking pricks. Conrad, what are you up to?
Hiding in a dank, dark review cave. Just keep an eye on Twitter, see if I slowly spiral into insanity, and just, words of support would be nice.
you could do it.
That's what's going on right now, pretty much.
Yeah.
I've got some other stuff cooking, but I don't know if it's happening, so we'll see.
Okay. What else we got? This week, if you go on Destructoid.com, I did a review of a game called... Sorry, I had to say the sentence properly because it's a weird title. I did a review of a game called Of Orcs and Men. It's called Of Orcs and Men.
That's the game with the farting orcs, is it? No, that's Orc Attack.
Yeah.
That's Orc Attack, okay.
This is the serious orc doing serious business. The orc with a goblin friend who looks and sounds like Willem Dafoe. It's fantastic. Great game. I loved it. A lot better than I thought it would be. It looked rough around the edges. It's got that European action RPG flavor, that Two Worlds Risen style flavor to it. And I thought, you know what? I'm probably going to really appreciate the ideas, but feel like the actual gameplay isn't going to be up to cop. But I loved it. The gameplay is rough. The game is rough as fuck, but it does so much good stuff that it's still turned out to be a great experience. Well written, beautiful characters. Soundtrack is phenomenal. One of my favourite soundtracks ever. I've been listening to it on Spotify. It's something gorgeous. So yeah, go read that. There's also a review I did of Unfinished Swan, which is a good little game. It tries very hard to be like Journey or Flower, but doesn't quite get there. But other than that, it's a fairly decent art game.
I don't see how it's like Journey or Flower.
Odd. Art game, Jonathan.
To me, that's like artisan sandwich. It's just like meaningless words.
You're an artisan sandwich.
I am.
Yeah.
I know.
I love that. That's my new favourite thing you've ever said. Also, if you go to escapistmagazine.com, the Jimquisition I did this week was called Think of the Children. It's about child characters in media and how Telltale's The Walking Dead actually subverts everything most writers do by making a child character that's actually good and not shit. So that's good. I believe Telltale liked that. They linked to it and stuff, and it got a lot of people watching it.
Oh, good.
It's a good video. I'm quite pleased with how it came out. And I also introduced my son, Skelton Swayze Sterling, to America. It's part of my presidential campaign bid, Sterling Milk 2016. It's good stuff. That's about it. As usual, you can listen to us on iTunes and give us little iTunes reviews if you want. You can buy an app on Amazon's Marketplace to get the show on your phone in a nice presented thing. And see us next week, or in the meantime on Destructoid.com. Yeah, bye. Christ's sake.